We are Venom.
Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to an episode of the Venom Vlog, and we are continuing our coverage and opening of this Magic the Gathering Spider-Man stuff because Venom's involved, and I thought these would be cool to just fill in some of our last episodes because I'm kind of out of comics. There's like 1 or 2 comics left, maybe 3 that I might cover between now and the end of the show, but this kind of helps, and then some other things that I'll do shorts of so I can get to 100 shorts of Venom Vlog. So we're going to do a little bit of everything, but for now, I wanted to make a whole episode kind of dedicated to the event itself and just how fun it was, and then opening up these booster packs and the welcome deck that they gave us for participating and showing off the promo card, which I think I did in the last episode a little bit, but I just wanted to go over again. Randy that was there, he was so awesome, so nice, and he was cool enough to sign our cards. By making a purchase, they give you one of these cards. Peter Parker on one side, Amazing Spider-Man on the other. And like I said, my friend Nate came with me, and he ended up just being like support and a way for me to get a couple extra packs. So he hung out with me in line, and he was like, hey, what do you want to get? And I said, honestly, dude, I'm buying everything I really need. But since these packs are only 2 per people, because I would have probably bought 4 or 5 of these if they would have let us, but they were just 2 per people, and they had so many of them. So I said, you know what? I don't think anyone's going to be upset if we get a couple extra of these. And they still, after the event, had a ton of these left, and even some of the collector's single packs left. So I said, give me 2 of these and 2 of the collector packs, and I'll pay you back, and that'll be all I need. And then I can make, more content with that. So he was like, okay. So here we are with my 2 and Nate's 2. So hopefully one of us gets lucky. But then Nate was nice enough to give me his autographed card because the guy, Randy signed it on the Peter Parker side for Nate, and he signed it on the Spider-Man side for me. So this is just really sick and awesome that they did that. And Randy also had this there to give away in case you didn't have anything from him, in case they ran out of promo cards or something. So this was really nice. And other people brought previous cards from like Lord of the Rings and other sets that Randy has contributed to. And he was really cool about just hanging out with you. They would like give you a time, and they would text you when you have to come back. And they were very organized. I'm sure it was a headache for them, but it ran smoothly for us at least. And I got to say that they put on an awesome event. And again, if you want to see that footage, check out our shorts. Those are up right now, hopefully, because I'm going to try to get those up immediately before these videos even go up, because I'm going to need time to edit a lot of this stuff. But these are just cool. So the fact that we met Randy and got those autographed, and these events went on in 3 different cities today. It was us, New York City, and also Anaheim, California at Disneyland at their Disney Springs there. They also had an event. And I believe yesterday or the day before, they had an event like this in the UK as well. So a lot of love being shown and spread around for this. But this is also in high demand. People are freaking out over these cards. And they did have, and I'll put the price up there and what they allowed you to get. They had collector boxes at this event, but not many. I think they were expecting more, but what showed up was what showed up. And so I think the first 20 or 25 people in line, they had the best chance of getting those. And I think by the time they got to person 30, those boxes were all gone. And we were about 80 or so people back. I think like 81 and 82 based on the lady's clicker, because she was saying the numbers as she was clicking us. So pretty neat. Like as far as like how organized this place was, what they had available, and the chance that we could have, if we got there sooner, could have got a collector's box. But even at $430, I don't know if I would have bought one. And if I did, I probably would have flipped it, which is not very like me. I like to buy stuff to buy it and collect it and keep it for myself. And then if we have extras or things that we don't really need to complete something, we'll sell that. But with $430, I'm just like, yeah, I could flip it and pay rent with that money if people buy it. But with my luck, by the time I get it up on eBay, in a day or two, maybe people don't want it anymore or something, so you never know with that kind of stuff. So I say don't buy for that reason if money is kind of an issue for you, and it is for us. So I'm glad what we got with today, and I'm glad that Nate's luck, because they were just handing these out. They wouldn't let you pick one, but they handed Nate a Venom box, and I'm so happy. I got Spider-Gwen, which I'm also happy about, but I wanted to just open these up and show off what's in them. So we got Spider-Man Miles Morales. He's from the green deck. And we got Venom Eddie Brock in this one. And then in the other one, Spider-Gwen, actually I'll save that for another video, because I have the collector's packs that we got to open, and I'd rather open her along with those collector's packs. So let's just go ahead and real quickly look at the cards you get in here, starting with Venom Eddie Brock. I mean, look at that art. Again, this is one of the reasons I wanted this set. I was like, I'm just a fan of a lot of the artists that Magic and Wizards of the Coast hired to do their cards, and knowing that some of them were going to get to draw these characters. And there are like 2 or 3 versions of most of the cards. You can get this card with Magic the Gathering artwork. You could see it again, same text and everything, but with different artwork on it. That's from the comic book, you know. There's just different versions, and I think that's awesome that they did that. So these are 2 30-card mini decks that you can just do a quick battle with. So if you wanted to play with a friend, this is your welcome deck. It's an introduction deck. So you get one of these stacks, your friend gets that, and you can kind of learn and play and just do a quick game with each other to kind of get the fundamentals and the basics down. So these are built decks to play with. So you got Eddie, Swamp, which is cool. See, there's Spider-Man swinging there in the swamp. Very nice. We got a Spider Bot, more swamp, because you need those land pieces to operate your characters and your creatures and all that stuff, and your weapons and everything. Mechanical Mobster, that's cool. Silvermane. Look at that, dude. We got Scream. I didn't even know she was in this set. Life Foundation captured venom and extracted seeds for newborn symbiotes that they could not control. Dude, we got Scream. That's awesome. Look at that freaking artwork. That's so good. Helgi C. Balser. And I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I'm so sorry, because your art's sick. It's amazing. We got more Swamp, Merciless Enforcers we got before. Venom's Hunger, we got that one already. Swamp, Eerie Gravestone, that's cool. Symbiote Spider-Man. Again, getting these artists who maybe for fun might draw these characters or get commissions from time to time, but to get them to draw big pivotal moments from the Spider-Man lore, to me, that's worth buying this set. Yes, I don't play Magic like I used to, and not even Blue does really anymore, but as a appreciator of good artwork, just to have this, is awesome for me at least. Swamp, Mechanical Mobster, Lethal Protection, that's so cool. Of course, you're going to get a lot of the Venom cards in this welcome deck, at least a good chunk of them. You got Scorpion, that's cool, another villain. Tombstone, awesome. Venom, Evil Unleashed, that's great. Risky Research, I think we got that one before. Venom's Hunger. There's going to be duplicates because this is a deck that you need to play with. So there's going to be some duplicates in here that cost a low amount, so you can attack your enemies. Scorpion Sting, dude, look at that. Donny Cates, look at that. And speaking of Donny Cates, his King Thanos kind of creation thing, in a way, and Cosmic Ghost Rider, they're now going to be in the new Cosmic Invasion video game. And I know last time stuff like this, like Null being mentioned in the third Spider-Man movie, I think Donnie had like some say in something, but I don't know if he got paid as like a consultant of some kind, but I don't think he got royalties though for the characters. And that always bums me when stuff like that happens in the comics. So it's always a double-edged sword when you see characters that you're like, oh, I know the creators. Same with, the black costume that was like a fan and then sold it to Marvel. And so it's just like, there's always this double-edged sword sometimes with when you think about the business side of comics and art and stuff. But it is always cool to see these characters, and Grendel and Noel and all that stuff. That's a great thing to bring into Magic the Gathering, I feel, especially if you're bringing in Spider-Man anyway. So another Scream, Merciless, that's awesome. So here's a Swamp one with the webbing. That's cool. I like that a lot. And then there's like kind of your rules, your quick play, how to set it up. So there's 2 cards in the back to kind of show you that stuff. So that's the Venom deck in here. And then now we have the Miles deck, which I'm just going to try to flip through quickly so we can get to our packs. All right, so we got Miles, awesome. Great card. Forest, and they're swinging there. Nice. Spider Bot, yep. Forest again. Lurking Lizards. Cool looking artwork again. I like that. Sweet. Yeah, some of the stuff, that's neat. Forest again, guy in the chair. We got Ned. This is a green deck, so I'm like, okay, I know which. Craven's Cats. Oh, that's cool. And there's Craven back there leading them in. That's neat. Forest, Twisted Spider Clone. Oh, this is Shift. I like this character, by the way. They did like a mini Clone Saga for Miles, and it wasn't too bad, honestly, because I think the end result of getting Shift was awesome, and then kind of the arc that character went on was really cool. So I really like Shift. A cool new addition. They did that Bizarro Spider-Man, Parker backwards, Rec Rap, and I didn't really care for Rec Rap, but Shift, I'm I'm down with Shift. He's cool. Scout the City. Kapow. We got all the different Mysterio, like, he's punching. That's so cool. Spider-Man Brooklyn Visionary. That's a cool one. I love the artwork there. There's Ned back there. Very nice. Craven's Cats again, 4th. I wonder if we're going to get the Craven card in here. We get the Spider-Rex card. Daring Dino. That's awesome. Another Twisted Clone. Venom Blast. You got to have that. And he's doing it on Craven. That's cool. I don't know if you guys played Spider-Man 2, the video game, but if you did, there were some cool moments in there with Craven. I didn't really like a lot of the Venom stuff. I did like when you got to play as Venom. That was awesome. But the story they told with Venom, it didn't thrill me. But all the Craven stuff in that game and the Cletus Cassidy stuff is awesome. So yeah, check it out. Growing Extra Arms. That's cool. Or Grow Extra Arms. Great moment. That's also when Morbius first showed up and they went to the Everglades or the swamps or something, and he was trying to save the lizard, and he runs into Morbius, and together they work on trying to cure his extra arms. So little Spider-Man lore for you there. Kapow, guy in the chair. Dude, Prowler. Misguided Mentor, but this is not the Hobie Brown Prowler. This is Miles' uncle. Not father, but uncle. That's cool. That is really cool. I wonder if there's a Hobie version, though. That would be awesome if they did alternate artwork on this card, changed the text maybe a little bit, and made it Hobie. I'd be into that. So Lurking Lizards again, Forest. We get one of the forest lands with the webbing, and then you get your 2 cards. So pretty cool. So that's what you get in this Venom welcome deck. I think it's always, you get the character that's on the front, and then the second deck, I think, is random. So you get Venom and Miles in there. I don't know who we'll get in the Gwen one. We'll open that up in the next video maybe. But for now, we're going to bust these open and wrap out the video by opening these 4 packs. But first, we got to get them out of here, and that is sometimes easier said than done. Oh, no, look at that. They open like envelopes, and boom. Hey, I'm kind of into that. All right, let's do it. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go ahead and get started. Pack number 1. Thanks again for being here. Let me know down in the comments if there's any cards you're looking for in this set. If we get any duplicates, we'll be happy to trade with some people. And then if we see something that's like stands out and I don't realize that it's a big deal, you can let me know. I'm going to do research after we film this video, so I'll know when I'm editing probably, what is a big hit. But in the moment here, I might not. But I might hit you with some Spider-Man lore, so be ready for that. Beetle, that's cool. Awesome, awesome. Not the original, but this is Janice, right? I think the newer Beetle, but that's cool. City Pigeon, because the original Beetle became Mach 5 over on the original Thunderbolts team, and I always liked that original Thunderbolts team with Baron Zemo and stuff. Really cool. Shock got Shocker there. Cool. Awesome, awesome. Spider-Man Brooklyn Visionary, we got that in the Miles pack and the Spider Bots. Oscorp Research Team. We're going to start seeing a lot of duplicates now because I think a lot of these are commons, and those, this is only a 180 card set. So you're going to, and there's like 6 or 7 commons in every pack. So we're going to see a lot of these over and over, which means when we get to the big booster box, when we open those packs, we may only show off like the uncommons and up to the mythics and legendaries. We probably will just take the commons out and then show off the good, the better cards. Not that these aren't cool too, but just as in fear of repeating too much and getting too many of the same visuals over and over. So by the time we get to that box, probably. But here we go. We got Spider Bite. That is awesome. But I love this because this is Randy's card. So Randy drew Aunt May and Moreland. So we got Peter Parker here, this cool borderless version, and we got Aunt May. So they're sitting across from each other at the same dinner table, it looks like. That's wonderful. What a nice little story beat that is in a way. And you got the picture of her, the 3 of them back there with Uncle Ben. But yes, she's serving food on this side of the table, and he's over here joining her, which was always like a hassle for Peter, like trying to make it home to be with Aunt May to get her medicine or to join her for, a meal or something. Like, it was always hard because he had to like stop the Shocker or, someone from robbing a bank. And so like, that's a wonderful little moment. Randy, amazing job. Like that's beautiful. I actually like that. I'm going to put those together. I'm going to keep them over there. Supportive parents. Oh man. Wow. Ouch. I know. I got my mom's. She's great actually. She was excited for me to go to this event today, and so that's I would say I have a supportive parent for sure. And my brother too. He was excited. He's like, dude, that's so cool. You're gonna go. He's a big trading card guy. So, dude, oh, whoa, okay, clever impersonator. We got Chameleon there. This is a great cover. This was a recent cover too. I think this was during um the Nick Spencer run. I think this was one of the covers from that. So good. I always like Chameleon. What a great character. So yeah, and that's borderless. And that's wonderful. That's really wonderful. Ooh, multiversal passage. I feel like this is a big deal. I feel like I had seen someone mention this because when I was driving to the event today, it was like 7 in the morning or something when I was on my way, and it was I was listening to like someone opening packs and talking. I couldn't watch obviously because I was driving, but I thought I heard him mention multiversal passage being like a land that acts. What does it say? As this land enters, choose a basic land type. Then you may pay 2 life. If you don't, it enters tapped. This land is the chosen type. So you get to basically like make it whatever land you want or something like that. That's actually a cool card for playing. Like that's really awesome. But the fact that it's the portal from Spider-Verse and stuff is sick from a Spider-Man standpoint. Ooh, look at that. We got Lady Octopus. And it's like a foil version of her. That's cool. Again, a character I didn't know was in the set. And then we got Ravencroft again. That's awesome. Oh, God, I love Ravencroft. It's kind of like Spider-Man's Arkham Asylum, you know? But that multiversal pass, I think that's a big deal. So I'm going to probably sleeve and top load that one for sure. I think that's a good card to get. All right, so we got Common Crook. Spider-Man deals with a lot of these guys. Bugle Reporters, that's cool. That's a great way to squeeze them all in, too. I think that's Phil Urich. Sorry, Phil Urich. Ben Urich. Phil is his nephew. And then we got Joe Robbie Robertson, Betty Brant. Yeah, that's cool. There's probably some other Easter eggs. And I think that's Peter getting yelled at by Jameson back there. That's pretty cool. Awesome. Passenger Ferry. Again, probably a card that someone who's used to the fantastical things that are in Magic, this is probably a very boring looking card to them. But it does have that moment, from kind of in a way where Spider-Man's holding the 2 parts of the ship together. This is a little different. He's just swinging over it, but it's, a nod, I guess, to that. We got Shock, Brooklyn Visionary, Spider-Bot, Scout, Daily Bugle Building. That's another land. That's cool. We got Vulture. That's cool. Yeah. Did we get him before? We might have, actually. We got a Spider-Mobile. Awesome. Dude, we got Kraven. Now, I know I do the Venom vlog and everything. I've always said Kraven is my favorite Spider-Man villain in the comics. Because Venom went the anti-hero route, in my opinion, he doesn't fall in the category of villain anymore. So to me, I feel safe saying Kraven's my favorite. Now, Venom was still a villain. Maybe I would still lean towards Venom, but I think Venom is more interesting as an anti-hero and someone struggling and trying to redeem himself from the bad things he's done before. I find that way more interesting. Kraven, I like him as he is, just like the ultimate hunter, just out for sport and, all that stuff and trying to better himself strength-wise and, and also the story of him, okay, I'm going to beat Spider-Man and bury him alive, and then I'm going to kill myself. Dark story, but it says a lot about the character and his struggle with, mental health and all kind of stuff. So made him interesting. I always liked those stories with Kraven. Hey, we got Miles, and that means boom! He's the ultimate Spider-Man. Yes, this card flips over and he transforms, kind of like the Peter Parker card we have. That becomes Amazing Spider-Man. So Miles becomes Ultimate Spider-Man. That is cool. That's really awesome. I'm happy to get that card. Venom's Hunger in foil. That's great. Awesome. Suburban Sanctuary, and then Treasure and Human Citizen as our token. All right. So we got 2 packs left. Again, thank you all. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts, your, cards you're looking for. Are you excited for this set at all? Are you mad? Are you a fan of Magic and you're like, I don't like this extended universe stuff? Like, whatever your opinion is, I like talking about this stuff, and everyone is going to come at it from a different angle. But for me, I've said the reasons why I like this. It's because you got Magic artists drawing these characters, and you get some cool reprints of comic book art on some of these cards too. So we got Grow Extra Arms, Risky Research. We're going to flip through some of these because, Electro's Bolt. We haven't seen that one yet. That's cool. I like that. Spectacular Tactics, Bombardment, Scout. Hey, look at that. It's Morbin time. Yes. Look at that. Our boy Morbius. That's great art, too. Borea Pendato. That's great job bringing Morbius to life. That looks creepy and like old school horror movie monster-ish. Like, really well done there. That is awesome. Vampire Scientist Villain. I like that. Cool. Flying Octobot as a artifact creature. Dude, we got him. We got Spider-Man Noir. He's gonna have his own show soon on like Amazon or something. And I saw that little trailer. It was well done. I'm interested to see where how they pull that off. That's gonna be interesting. And to get Nick Cage to come back, to do live action is awesome. So Spider-Man Noir, that's cool. Sandman, getting a lot of new cards here too, in the like rare and mythic and legendary areas and uncommons. Like at least we're getting some duplicates, but not a ton so far. But we're still early on in this. So hey, we got Spider Bite again, but this time in the foil. I didn't even realize her face was back there as a silhouette behind her. That's cool. And Suburban Sanctuary, sweet. All right, last pack. Let's do it. Thank you guys again for hanging out with us, and I hope you're liking the content. Steel Wrecking Ball. That's cool. That's a new one. I haven't seen that one. Guy in the Chair. Venom's Hunger. Starling. Amazing Acrobatics. There it is. There it is. I don't know if this is the same Bagel and Schmear that created, because I don't think the one that hit Dr. Ohm in the head in Spider-Verse and made him the Spot, I don't think that had cream cheese on it. I don't know if Peter B. Parker had time to. I know he picked it up and he was like thinking about eating it, and I think he had it sit in his mouth at one point, but I don't know if it had Schmear. But so it's not the same bagel, but that's just wild. I mean, I know people are ripping into this card and other cards like it in the set. I heard people talking online a little bit about that today too, but there was a lot of positivity there. I got to say, for the internet being as nasty as it can be, like at least in that one guy's video I was listening to, like he seemed pretty intense. And then so like when I parked, I listened to another video, a different one, and they were fairly negative too. And so I was like, oh man. And I started, I'm sitting there in line for this product and I'm like, oh man, some people just don't seem to like it. And I get it though. If you come from it depends on which angle you're coming at this from, but I'm not going to sit there and say this is an amazing card. It's funny that it exists in a way, but also it feels like, like you got a talented artist to draw something. I wouldn't tell an artist to draw a bagel with a Schmear in it. I understand that it's kind of a reference to Spider-Man, but I don't know if I would have. There's so many other things you could have drawn and done. But whatever, it's fine. Let me know how you feel about bagel and Schmear in the comments. Mass Meower, that's cool. That's really cool. Gallant Citizen. That's John Jameson, yeah. And J. Jonah Jameson's right behind him. So John Jameson becomes Man-Wolf, who my friend Nate is a huge fan of. And there are 4 action figures that tie into this set of Magic cards. There is Man-Wolf, and there's Mary Jane in the like Iron Spider costume when she was working for like Tony Stark and stuff. Then you have Spider-Man, but he's like battle damaged Spider-Man. The first time I think they ever made one of those battle damaged Spider-Mans in Marvel Legends. And Agent Anti-Venom. And all of them come with cards that are from the set with different artwork and stuff on them and foil. So there is a Man-Wolf card out there, and there's a toy. And if you want both, you can just buy the toy and it comes with the card. So there you go. We got Aunt May. We got to get Moreland so we can complete the Randy trilogy of cards, because he only did those 3 apparently. We got Rhino. Dude, Alexi, look at that. That's cool, man. That's a great image of him just busting through a building. Someone back there like, oh no, my bagel. Dude, Imposter Syndrome, that's cool. Because we got that copy card, right? That token card. That's awesome. Great shot of them. I know, that's cool. They didn't do the full thing with like a third one, but that's still neat. Beetle and Ominous Asylum. So really cool. I just getting a good look at this product now and kind of seeing what it offers. And all the fun that's part of it, at least for me as a Spider-Man and Venom fan, and to give us something to do here on the Venom vlog. Like I said, I was like, man, I have maybe like 3 more comics that I got to wrap up where I'm going to just stop after that. And I said, I need a couple more episodes. And shorts. So like I said, when we get our booster box in, we're going to just do each pack just the uncommons and upward probably, and get rid of the commons and just show you each pack. So those will be coming probably next week. I'll start filming it and everything, and we'll start lining everything up to start posting in October, along with maybe this video and the next ones I'm making. So yes, come back. The next video will be more Magic the Gathering. We're going to look at this stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and give you a teaser. We got 2 packs of the collector's boosters. So we got 1 and 2. Each box has 1 pack in it. So, but these are where you could get, there's certain cards in the set you can only get in these packs. So we're gonna hope for the best that we get some cool cards, including like some cool Venom cards. So we got those 2 and the Spider-Gwen welcome deck. We're gonna look at those in the next video. So we'll see you then. Thanks so much for watching the show. As always, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we'll see you in the future. Peace.